We look up at the stars and see a destination. We build ships of titanium and glass, powered by controlled explosions, and we hurl our best and brightest into the infinite black. We call them heroes. We call them pioneers. But the universe does not care about our titles. The universe only cares about physics and biology. To spend 1 year in deep space is not simply a journey of distance. It is an active, terrifying rebellion against 4 billion years of evolution. You see, you are not just a resident of Earth. You are a product of it. Every fiber of your being, every beat of your heart, every dense matrix of calcium in your bones was forged by a single, unyielding force. Gravity. It is the invisible sculptor of the human form. When you strap yourself into a rocket and break the bonds of Earth, you feel a moment of profound liberation, weightlessness, the dream of flight realized. But inside your body, a silent, chaotic emergency is unfolding. You have removed the scaffolding of your existence, and the collapse begins almost immediately. Within the first few hours of floating in the void, the fluids in your body realize they are no longer being pulled downward. The blood that normally pools in your legs rushes upward, flooding your chest and your head. Your face swells, your veins bulge. Your brain, receiving this sudden flood of fluid, panics. It assumes you are drowning. It sends desperate signals to your kidneys to purge water, drastically dropping your total blood volume. You are dehydrating yourself just to survive the weightlessness. And then there is the heart. For your entire life, your heart has been a magnificent, heavy-lifting machine. It has spent every second of every day fighting the crushing weight of 1G, pumping blood straight up against the pull of a planet. But in deep space, there is no pull, there is no resistance, and nature is a ruthless accountant. It does not maintain what it does not need. Your heart, realizing the fight is over, begins to shrink. The muscle mass decreases. It becomes spherical, lazy, and weak. It forgets the strength required to keep you alive on a heavy world. Within a matter of weeks, your cardiovascular system has been fundamentally downgraded. But the heart is just soft tissue. The true horror of a year in the dark happens deep within your rigid frame, your skeleton. On Earth, the simple act of walking sends microscopic shock waves up your legs, through your spine. These impacts are signals. They tell your bones, stay strong, we need you. In the silent, floating world of a space station or a deep space vessel, those signals go completely silent. Your body is ruthlessly efficient. It decides that a heavy, dense skeleton is a massive waste of energy in a zero-gravity environment. So, it begins to dismantle it. Your bones start releasing their calcium into your bloodstream. Day by day, month by month, your skeleton dissolves. It becomes porous, brittle, like an old, dried sponge. During a 1-year mission, you can lose up to 20% of the bone mass in your lower body. You are literally cannibalizing your own structure, absorbing your own bones just to float through the dark. The calcium floods your blood, creating a high risk of kidney stones, agonizing crystals forming inside you while you are millions of miles away from a hospital. And your muscles? They suffer the exact same fate. Without gravity to fight against, the muscles in your back and legs, the anti-gravity muscles that keep you upright, begin to melt away. Even with hours of grueling, tethered exercise every single day, the atrophy is inevitable. You are slowly turning into a creature of the void, a fragile, gelatinous organism perfectly adapted to the floating dark, but entirely unsuited for the world that birthed you. If you were to return to Earth after a year and simply try to stand up, you would collapse. Your shrunken heart would fail to pump blood to your brain. You would black out. Your brittle bones would be at a terrifying risk of snapping under your own weight. The planet you call home would feel like a crushing, suffocating gravitational press. But bone and blood are just the physical toll. As the months drag on, the environment of deep space begins to attack something much harder to repair. It attacks your very blueprint. Here on Earth, we are wrapped in a colossal, invisible magnetic shield. It deflects the violent, searing radiation of the sun and the subatomic shrapnel of distant, exploding stars. When you leave Earth's orbit, you step completely out of that armor. You step into a cosmic shooting gallery. Galactic cosmic rays are high-energy particles moving at nearly the speed of light. They do not care about the thick aluminum walls of your ship. They pass silently through the hull. They pass silently through your spacesuit. And they pass silently through your flesh. As they do, they strike your DNA, snapping the fragile, microscopic ladders that make you who you are. For a full year, you are subjected to a continuous, invisible bombardment. Your cells scramble to repair the damage, but the errors accumulate. Mutations take root. The threat of cancer is the quietest of your fears. The immediate danger is what the radiation does to your brain. As the high-energy particles tear through your neural pathways, they leave behind microscopic scars. Cognitive decline begins. Your reaction times slow. Memory becomes fragmented. You are sitting in a metal box millions of miles from help, and your very ability to process reality is slowly being eroded by the invisible fires of the cosmos. And then, the darkness begins to take your sight. Scientists call it spaceflight-associated neuroocular syndrome. Remember the fluids we spoke of earlier? The blood and water that rushed upward into your head? That fluid does not just swell your face. It pools heavily behind your eyes. For a year, it applies a relentless, crushing pressure against your optic nerve. It literally flattens the back of your eyeballs. Your vision blurs. The sharp, brilliant points of the distant stars become smeared and soft. You are venturing into the deepest unknown in human history, and your own body is blinding you to it. But the void does not only attack from the outside. It turns your own internal ecosystem into a weapon. You are not a single organism. You are a walking biome. Trillions of bacteria, fungi, and microbes live in your gut, on your skin, and in your breath. Here on Earth, they are kept in a delicate, evolutionary balance by a robust immune system and a constantly shifting environment. In the closed, sterile loop of a deep space vessel, that balance is annihilated. Without gravity to pull them down, bacteria do not settle on surfaces. They float. They mutate rapidly in the high radiation environment. They form thick, impenetrable biofilms on the walls of the ship, inside the water recyclers, and inside the lungs of the crew. And while these microbes are growing stronger, your immune system is collapsing. Battered by stress, zero gravity, and radiation, your white blood cells become sluggish and unresponsive. A common cold virus, mutating in the dark, does not just make you sick in deep space. It becomes an apex predator, an outbreak inside a sealed capsule. A year's journey from the nearest pharmacy is a slow, silent apocalypse. The very microbes that helped you digest your food on Earth could mutate into the very things that devour you in the void. Yet, perhaps the most profound devastation of a year in deep space is not biological, it is psychological. We are creatures of a loud, vibrant world. We evolved to process the wind rushing through trees, the shifting of clouds, the endless variety of a physical horizon. We need the sun on our skin. We need the smell of rain. Inside an interstellar ship, the horizon is a metal wall, exactly 10 feet away. The air is sterile, scrubbed of all scent, accompanied only by the ceaseless, maddening, mechanical hum of life support systems. There is no weather. There is no change. Sensory deprivation begins to claw at the edges of sanity. The human brain, starved of the chaotic, beautiful noise of a living ecosystem, begins to invent its own. Hallucinations bloom in the sterile light. Paranoia takes root. When you look out the thick glass of the viewport, the stars do not move. Because the distances are so unfathomably vast, traveling at tens of thousands of miles an hour still looks like standing perfectly still. You are trapped in a metal coffin, suspended in an ocean of absolute black, moving at terrifying speeds, yet completely frozen in amber. And then, there is the Earth. At first, it is a brilliant blue marble, dominating the window, a symbol of home. But as the months pass, it shrinks. It becomes a coin, then a marble, then a pale blue dot, and eventually, depending on how far you go, it simply vanishes into the glare of the sun. The psychological toll of seeing your entire species, your entire history, every person you have ever loved, reduced to an invisible speck of dust is crushing. It induces a profound, existential nihilism. You are entirely severed from the context of human history. You are the most isolated organism in the universe. To spend a year in deep space is to realize a tragic, beautiful truth. We look at the stars and we see a destiny. But our biology sees a quarantine zone. We are the ultimate specialized machine. We were built from the dust of exactly one rock, calibrated perfectly to the light of exactly one star. Our carbon, our iron, our calcium, they demand the exact conditions of Earth. When you tear them away from that context, they unravel. We can build the ships, we can calculate the trajectories, but we cannot rewrite 4 billion years of evolution in a single lifetime. We are prisoners of paradise, bound to the heavy blue sanctuary that made us. And the stars, beautiful and terrifying as they are, demand a price we may never be able to pay.